Finally, I'm done.
Done what?
Hey Samir, maybe you should pick up a book too sometimes. It's a really good book. The Autobiography of Malcolm X. It really gives you a good insight of the racism and prejudice of the time.
First of all, I read picture books, okay? Second of all, it's like the 60s, man. That was 60 years ago.
Yeah, but still, some of those problems are still pertinent to today.
Yeah, but it's not like one of us can fix it. You know what we can do?
Whoa.
Hit our vape.
Whoa, Samir, what is that?
It's a cherry flavored vape.
Samir, does that have any THC in that?
Yeah, but the person said it's really good.
Samir, you have weed in your vape? Samir, you're 16, man. 32 people have died because of stuff like this, man.
What? He said it's good THC. It's fine.
Samir, stop, man. I don't feel comfortable in this situation. I think I'm just gonna remove myself from the situation.
Fine, but I'm following you because I want food.
You know what? I'm done.
My mom.
Samir,
What? It's real.
oh my goodness, does anyone have a phone? Oh my goodness. Samir, are you okay? You call 911. Hello, 911 emergency. Yeah, he collapsed from vaping. He doesn't have a pulse right now. What do I do? Help me! Help me!
100 years ago, our country suffered from the influenza pandemic. In our current time, a new crisis has been presented to us. Today, teens across North America have been suffering from collapsed lungs because of the vape juice found on the streets and how unsafe it is for your lungs. Now, we know we cannot stop you, but we can educate you, and thus educate you we shall. The reason why the vape juice is so dangerous is due to the poor quality of the THC. And today we will be discussing the silent killer within, often used as a thickener, vitamin E acetate.
Vitamin E acetate, also known by its IUPAC name as alpha tocopherol acetate, has the chemical formula C31H52O3. This chemical is most often found in cosmetic products and vitamin tablets, and although it is fabled to have many benefits, the research is highly inconclusive.
Some physical properties of vitamin E acetate are density at 0.96 grams per milliliter, melting point at negative 27.78 degrees Celsius, and boiling point at 224 degrees Celsius. Additionally, it is a relatively odorless substance, making it very hard to detect, which is interesting because it contains an ester functional group, which usually give off strong odors. But in this case, the compound as a whole is odorless. These properties show that vitamin E acetate is a liquid at room temperature, and that the liquid is viscous. In terms of its use in vape and jewel products, vitamin E acetate, being a viscous liquid, appears to improve the quality of the vape juice as it makes it thicker.
The chemical is being used all over the black market because it is a quick and easy fix for cheap THC. However, the repercussions of the chemical are numerous. In fact, in a study done by the government, it was determined that out of the 32 people that had died from vaping-related illnesses, every single one of them had used at least one product that contained vitamin E acetate. And although the evidence is still inconclusive, a theory has been put forth by scientists that claims that due to the oil-like nature of the substance, it becomes very bad for the lungs when inhaled and can lead to death.
Beyond the fact that inhaling vitamin E acetate can have potentially serious and life-threatening consequences on your body, it doesn't necessarily provide the desired effect of clear skin when used in cosmetics and as a multivitamin.
Despite being hailed as somewhat of a miracle worker, people often fail to realize that vitamin E and vitamin E acetate are two separate things. Therefore, some of the benefits that we apply to vitamin E cannot always be applied to vitamin E acetate. However, we see that this is not always true because the cosmetic industry claims that the vitamin E acetate within their creams can help reduce the amount of scar tissue and can reduce the number of dark spots on your skin. However, research after research has shown that this is simply just not true. The same can be said about vitamin tablets. Vitamin E tablets are said to be able to help slow down and decrease the chances of people getting Alzheimer's, dementia, other mental illnesses, and even cardiovascular illnesses. However, research after research has also shown that this isn't true, and that taking vitamin E tablets does not lead to a healthier life by any means. In total, most of the stories that we hear about vitamin E acetate are just those. They're just stories.
In terms of topical applications, vitamin E acetate does not have many alternatives other than alpha-tocopherol, which is another form of vitamin E. However, vitamin E is nowhere near as stable as vitamin E acetate and has a much shorter shelf life. As for masking bad THC in vape juice, other compounds such as propylene glycol and vegetable glycerin can also be used as thickeners. Even though they are much less harmful than vitamin E acetate, they are nowhere near as effective at masking bad THC. Therefore, as of right now, there is no perfect alternative for vitamin E acetate. However, each one has its own set of pros and cons.
All this information really begs the question, does vitamin E acetate still have a place in our society?
Overall, vitamin E acetate poses no real harm when touched or ingested. However, research suggests the chemical has no real benefits. Notwithstanding, it certainly has no place in vapes and joules. When the chemical is inhaled, vitamin E acetate can potentially be very harmful to people's lungs and may be the cause of death in our communities. It's your life. Why risk it?
This message was brought to you by the Government of Canada.